now day 3 of the boat restoration. Behind me, this is the 86 bass boat. Been a lot of stuff. You guys haven't watched them, go back, watch all the videos where we're at. Today's video is going to be about getting ready to actually start putting some new stuff on, y'all. We just have a couple more things we have to do. One being this trim right here. If y'all can see it, I just broke it from that side, but it was broke right here. I ordered new trimming for the whole entire boat, so I need to pull this out. The only problem is it is riveted into the back of the boat, so only way it's gonna come out is we grinded it. Well, I'm not doing that today. I'm just pulling it off, so it's gonna tear some of that fiberglass. So we have some fiberglass filler. I'm gonna have to use the hardener, mix it up, and actually lay down some new fiberglass today. We're gonna fix all that trimming. Hold on, this yellow jacket. I don't like them. Distance pal. Today's video, we're gonna have to, like I said, pull all that off, relay it all back on. We have to sand down a couple things inside the boat. Pretty much any holes or anything where it's chipped, that's gonna affect the way we actually start building this boat. I'm filming that today, sanding it all down, making the boat look a lot better for paint. So with that being said, y'all, let's get to work. Alright, took freaking 2 hours, but all of the trimming is off. Let me see if I can try to find one I'm talking about. Like that right there. It broke through the bottom too. Right here we just have the hole. So we're gonna sand all this down, get it a nice little line, because the new trimming isn't really a trim that sticks on to the front. It kind of cups underneath and comes up. So we're gonna get that looking a lot better, but it's not bad. Here's all the trimming. A lot of it. But take the sander out and just start trying to get an even line and see if we can sand off some of the stuff that we're really probably not going to want to refiberglass over, but let's get to it. You guys can see that's what we got left right now. All these little holes. We have a nice smooth surface to start doing some of our body work. We're gonna cover my shadow, cover up all of those all the way around. The mic wasn't on pretty much. I don't know what I'm gonna show for that, but this is your hardener. You put it in. The more you use, the faster it's gonna dry. A lot of holes to do, so I didn't put as much. I mix it up, and now we're about to lay it. Alright, y'all, it is now day 3, 4, 5, I'm not sure. Losing track of this, but when we last left off, we were doing some body work to the boat, kind of filling up these little sides where the new trimming is gonna go. And honestly, guys, when you have a hole this big, a little tiny hole, it's easy to fill up, throw it on, you sand it off. But what I'm dealing with right now is some of them are torn, so it actually takes a couple of sessions of body work to actually get these things filled up and do it the right way. So that's what we're dealing with right now, and I don't really want to bore you guys with doing that fell. I don't want to bore you guys so much with doing this because it takes a lot of time. I'm gonna give you guys a little walk around of what I have done so far and what we're gonna try to tackle today. So if you can see, this is probably 3 or 4 layers of body work I've had to do. You guys can see where there's still some dark brown, like right here. We had to go over that a couple of times, but for the most part, we're getting the sand down and patched up. Same kind of deal on that side. Some of the rails up here, but what I really want to tackle is actually breaking down this wood a little bit. I'm gonna rip up most of the fiberglass doing it, but that's why we have more to replace. So we have to do both of those, and there's some other little holes around the boat, like up there, up here, that I want to try to get knocked out. So honestly, probably not going to pick you guys up until I get to that point, because I still have a lot of work to do on the sides of the boat. But I think here in the next 20 minutes I should be done with that, and we'll be able to jump on something new. All right, I'm satisfied with my railings. We're all looking good. Now it's time to tackle these guys, and this is gonna be fun. The grinder was much needed, knocked those down really good. So now what we're gonna do, y'all, we're gonna clean the surface, a little bit, and most of this is going to be covered with the custom box we're going to build for the seats. And honestly, I couldn't even need to do this at all, but just because I know it's there, I wanted to get done right. It would have bugged me if I knew I just was covering stuff when it needs to be done correctly. So we're going to clean the surface off now. Because those boxes were sitting there, if y'all can see my hand kind of sinking down a little bit, there was a lot of wood and stuff underneath this, so it made it a little rotten, which is a little bit weaker right here between the whole entire boat. So I just want to throw a new layer of fiberglass down just to give it some strength, so we're all good to go. Let's go ahead and mix up some of our fiberglass. Massive freaking spot to fill up, so we're going to use a lot of this. Might have enough to get something started over here. Alright, it is the next day. We're back out here working on the boat. Camera cut off yesterday when I was actually mixing some more of our fiberglass. Made it in a couple more spots around the boat where we had some holes, but today's mission is to really try to put a hurting on some sanding, because we have a lot to sand, and I'm really wanting to be done with most of our body work today so we can move on to the next step. We laid those massive 2 spots yesterday, and that's going to be a lot to sand. We might have to even lay a little bit more. That was just our first coat, but I tried to make it thick so we wouldn't have to, but we'll just have to see. Sand a couple more spots around the boat. Let's get to it. Alright guys, we're coming up to our last little bit of fiberglass we gotta mix up. The cool thing about the spread is if you have a lot of Bondo stew left on or fiberglass, whatever you're using, you let it dry up. If you bend it and crack it, it all comes off and you're able to kind of scoop it up and use it again. Alright y'all, that's enough sanding. I'm probably going to show you guys through this video because it was a lot. We got a lot done in these last 3 days, but it's probably a little boring just watching me lay fiberglass and sanding it off. But The reason why I'm doing it, I just wanted to film this because I think it's a great thing to do when you're trying to restore boats like this, especially fiberglass. Imagine like having a porch, all right? Some of your 2x6s are getting wore out, they're rotting, you rip them up, you put new ones down. It kind of just pulls it together a little bit better, makes it a little bit stronger. So this fiberglass, this stuff's old, warped, and with me laying new stuff down and just patches all around the boat, where the seams are, where wood meets, it kind of just like constructs it, makes it a little bit stronger. So that's why I'm doing this. A lot of people would say, why are you even doing this if you're going to cover it up with paint or some of the stuff we're going to do to it? Just the fact that I'm getting it done right and I'm doing it the way I want to. So I just want to show you guys, if you ever use fiberglass or Bondo, this is kind of how you do it. It's a long, tedious process, but in the long run, it looks pretty good when you're done. So every day this freaking box is getting sent to my house. There's a lot of stuff we have to install. Can't wait to show y'all what we do for this boat. So until next time, Lit Bass TV.